Hello all, Havoc here. Let's get ready to play some Space Engineers. Okay, so in this episode we're going to look at doing a few different things. Alas, there was no planets. Okay, that was weird, but it didn't want to work. So we're going to go ahead and continue with our plan and playing around with this for a little bit longer because, well, we're going to have some things that are coming, or things that happened in this patch that are prepping for planets in a pretty big way. Well, it doesn't show it in this skybox, but the sun now moves. I actually brought that up in the last episode about having a solar array in a position to where it would be able to track the sun and batteries and power management, and then yes, the sun will be moving. That's to help compensate the fact that they don't want to have to track planets. It's easier to move the sun than it is to move the planets. But the world is flat. The sun revolves around the earth. I'm joking. Alright. So, one of the things we talked about doing was setting up another tower out over here and getting that set up to start our entrance to our base. And getting another guard tower up for some more turrets on it as well. I had really toiled over the fact of converting this to survival, like right now, or deleting this. I actually stopped recording about, I don't know, I was like 5 minutes into recording, I was like, stop, hold on. Okay, so the reason I did not go to survival is, one, I was going to ask you guys, would you rather see me just roll this to survival or scratch this and start a survival world on this, or continue kind of pre-planning until planets do come out? I foresee it being another week to 2 weeks at the minimum. With them just now adding the solar rotation, they're adding it incremental. So I foresee us having moons, as they will be larger scale planets or larger scale asteroids, and then eventually we would have planets. So they did do some cool additions to the game. Let's see, we have the sun rotation, the ability to disable jetpacks, so we can actually be stuck planet side, not have this ability on planets. That's been kind of cool. And if you wanted to leave orbit, because in theory, I mean, well, we have enough energy, right? We could just do this. So, this is rather comical. Okay, so in theory, yes, we could turn off jetpacks and force ourselves to use ships. Pretty cool concept. Let's see what else was added. You can spawn without tools now. In the next world I create, that is going to be a thing. Because personally, I hate every time I die, I lose my tool. Well, that sounds rather inappropriate. So you drop whatever's in your hand. So let's just say we have. Could have swore I had a mining drill in my inventory. Was wrong. So let's say you had your drill in your hand, you die. That's what you drop, is your drill. And you respawn, and you have a drill. You come back to your corpse. There's a grinder and a mining drill, or a welder. So I don't think it's appropriate to drop them and respawn with them. I just usually end up just turning them back into whatever resources they were. So with that being said, we're going to turn those off in the next iteration as well. It forces us to either make sure we have the supplies on hand to build new ones, and or get back to our corpse and collect them. Let's see. So blueprinting can inherit the ownerships. I'm reading this directly from the forums, guys. So basically what that happens is in the past, I believe when you blueprinted a ship, it came in as non-owner, and now it's going to come in as it has the option to come in as the owner of the projector block. So such as that's more of a multiplayer thing, such as where the Kess was built by me. It would come in either nobody or owned by me. I can't remember which. But now it's whoever places the projector block, they will be the owner of the Kess as they print that ship. So pretty cool. And a myriad of fixes by the community fixes are just starting to roll in again, and that's fantastic. One of the ones is a inventory tweak, which I don't know where to find it. It might be because I have this custom UI. But basically what this inventory tweak will do is this always takes forever to load. It causes this to become transparent. So I probably are going to go back to the default UI and use transparency there, because there's quite a few bugs to this UI that I don't like, such as this. Like, it covers up this menu part of the menu. Several little just bugs, for lack of a better term. So with that, let's go ahead and get to building. So I asked you guys for something to build, and you guys responded with a barracks with a proper life support system. And so that's what we were going to focus on once we get our tower built. So let's go ahead and one thing that they did add, and we're gonna check this out here real quick. Supposedly, stations now are voxel supported. So if I take this off, if I hit this, let's try with the ship. In theory, I'm not sure if it needs to be enabled or not, but in theory, stations no longer just are afloat. Alright, so let's get a good view here. So in theory, if we come up here and nudge this, don't want to wreck the ship. Okay, so it might be an option to turn on, which I'm going to, because it adds a little bit more realism to it. I love the Kestrel sitting up there. Actually reminds me of one of my favorite episodes of sci-fi. I asked you guys a bunch of sci-fi stuff, different questions and stuff. So actually, I asked you guys what your favorite ships were. So I will extend this one to you guys as well, and I would love to see the comments come flying in on this one. What is your favorite moment in sci-fi? Mine would have to be Battlestar Galactica. In the new series, they land on this planet called New Caprica. And as a part of the rebellion, the Galactica jumps their FTL drives, and the ship lands inside orbit. So imagine something the size of 6 or 7 aircraft carriers falling in gravity towards the Earth, and it FTLs away moments before it smacks the ground, but not beforehand. They release an entire barrage of Vipers in orbit. Quite the sight in a show, but to imagine that happening in real life, just awe-inspiring. So every time I see that up there, I think of that specific moment of rotate, the Galactica jumping into orbit in New Caprica. Alright, so we'll go ahead and park here. Cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this tower built. This didn't work. It's going to have to be it must be an option inside of the game setting. So we'll go ahead and check into that and make that change. So let's see, I was going to do this, but I'm not. So what I'm going to do instead, because I had talked to you guys about how I'd want to pipe these up and run a pipe through that internal part of the structure, is I'm going to go like so. Set number 8. That's a small container. It's not correct. We want the conveyor. And we want the tube. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw one of these down and a tube off of it. And this will be our junction to the start of the tower, and we're going to put it right about here, maybe a little bit further, there, about there, and we'll put another juncture down, 8, Come on now. There we go. So this will allow us to bit. This is where Havoc completes a sentence again. This will allow us to get a build point. So we went 3 by 3? No. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Another thing too. Can you imagine if jetpacks were disabled, how building on standard terrain would be affected? How much more difficult things would be? Such as like right here. I can't get up here. I'd have to build a ramp just to get up there. So the ability to build things like that is going to be pretty cool, I think, to limit us to where we have to have structures built in a way that allows us to get around. The other side to that is they could add it to where if you're in low gravity, things cost so much energy. If you're in high gravity, things cost X amount of more energy. So high gravity, obviously, our jetpacks would have to be extremely stressed and so on. And my ability to fall off structures. You guys watch my 7 Days to Die series. I broke my leg all the time in that series. Alright, so let's see here. Let's get our guns out. So obviously we're going to want these to the front to cover anything that might come through there. We have a missile launcher to the inside here, so we're going to put this to the inside. No, we're going to continue with that idea. So we're going to have the 3 guns facing to the forward and to the inside, because we're going to have another tower opposite of this one, like so. So that would repeat that, and we'll put a missile launcher here. Oh, forgot a step though. Alright, so here. Where did I put those? There they are. So here, 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 and there. Alright, cool. So then we start our decoration from the outside of the wall. This is not connected, but as we would get more resources, this would become inherently more detailed, and not only detailed, but also we're going to add more redundancies and features that are going to cause us to work less at doing things, such as putting ammunition in these. I mean, we could easily surface pipe, run a tube down, run a tube across, and connect up to here, connect up to there. Run a tube up the middle, and connect these guys. Easy enough. So the next thing up would be a barracks. I would like the barracks to be something that's a little bit further away from this, I think. Not quite sure. But the further we get away from things, the harder it's going to be to defend it, because here's all our defenses here. So I think for the time being, if I was building this as far as from the survival standpoint, is this would be our barracks here. So here's would be our future home for a very short period of time, of course. Once we start getting more resources in, this would grow quickly. That's too close because we want to be able to pull our vehicles in. We're not going to need a large barracks. It just needs to be able to sustain us. Alright, so there. And actually, should we go with the hangar door on this? I'm not sure. I'm thinking so, because I really don't like the default vanilla doors, but alright, so default vanilla doors it is. Or let's see what else we could use. I think we still have these. I think these are too big. I'll get these new doors. Let's try some of these. Alright, let's try that. So it's here. I think I want this one. What? Is it the same thing? There we go. That's what I was looking for. Like that. Alright. So this allow us to I think that I remember downloading this mod because it has the proper hitbox. It uses the standard vanilla skin, but it has a proper hitbox if I remember correctly. So let's see. I think I want to take this block out and replace it. This one as well. Yes. So this is what I want to do. Let's go to. Let's go to here. All right. So then we're going to use this one and this one. No reason to feel cramped if we don't need to be, right? Just because we're building a small base doesn't mean we need to feel confined. So we'll do something like that. And let's see what else we got going on outside. So we ran piping to there. It should be conceivable to run piping along this wall as well. In theory, I'd moved the antenna by now, but I'm just going to take into the fact that maybe we didn't have the resources to move the antenna, so we're just going to build around it. So I think by building around it, it's going to cause us to do a few different things that we normally probably wouldn't do. Let's see here. Come inside. What happens? Well, I think at this point, I would just say, you know what? I'm moving this antenna because I don't care at this point. Because that's, to be honest with you, it's probably what I've done. I'm not too sure about having the antenna that high up off the ground. You know what? I'm going to stick with that statement. For the reason being is that our objects won't shoot at our own objects, so if something passed behind the antenna, the guns will stop shooting. And that's enough time for them to impact something else. So that's my logic behind that. Alright, so let's go with that. And then we'll go like that. So this will allow us to do a few things. Put in a conveyor. Actually, we're going to put in 2. And then we'll put a block in above it. Seal it off. And actually, we're going to do this as well. We'll move that to there. Continue to change up this whole wall. Because we want to put the med bay right here. There it is. We'll rotate it. Is there one on the back side of it yet? No. I don't know about you guys, but that seems like it would make sense to me. So throw that there. Now it's connected. And now we can go ahead and grab an air vent. I really like the wedge one, so we're going to go ahead and use that one. Vent, this one right here. And so the advantage of using this one as well is, if I remember correctly, it should tie into these quite well. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so then we'll move the door over to here now. And I guess I should use another one of these, right? Like so. And like so. Alright, so we're airtight. We have a door, we have a med bay. The other thing we'd probably do is poke another hole over here and put a cryo tube in just for the shenanigans of it all. Or maybe rotate this, put it over here on this wall where we would have the cryo tube, put the cryo tube here underneath the O2. Something like that. And that looks kind of funky up there, so let's do something like this. That's not too bad. Alright, so we have ourselves a barracks. And there we go. We have ourselves a way to pick up ore. And send it to a refinery. Whether this is a tracked vehicle, as in like a ground vehicle, or even something from the Castrel coming in and landing, it's possible to use this facility for this. Let's see here. Where is Cass? Oh, it's parked where it's supposed to be. In the hangar. So we have a hangar as well. So, I mean, we're getting a pretty good substantial start to where we're to our base. So I think in the next episode we're going to start working on some more. Okay, so we got the basic structures in place. We got plenty of defenses up. We have the ability to communicate and bring drones down for the Castrel. So let's see if we can connect to the Castrel. Let's go ahead and go OK. So we have Cass, but we do not have the Castrel. Oh, dogs. Okay, so to simulate the fact that it's in orbit nowhere near us, I actually turned the antennas off. So that's something else we're going to have to look into facilitating as well, is using laser antennas and such to get a link between the ground and the station, which is going to be totally feasible. We're going to be able to do that. Actually, I think I'm going to put a ramp on here. Let's see here. Like that, like that. And there. So I think we're going to have to, we will have to set up laser antennas to reach the station. As the planet could be, in theory, large enough to not allow for standard large antennas to reach. So that's something we're going to have to work on as well. But so we have antennas. We can reach and control drones. So in theory, we can fly Cass up and pilot a Scorpion a good ways until we get out of range. And then once we get out of range, we could swap over back to the Cass, bring Cass down, and then pilot the drone the remainder of the way. Once we get the coordinates all set up and everything, we'd also be able to start using automatic waypoints. So that's something we could look into as well. And something, that's been just irking me, wanting to try and do, is come over here and look on top of this crag and see what it looks like. I don't know about you guys, but I think in the next episode I want to start out by doing something fun. I want to build an outpost up here. A simple tower, guard tower kind of looking thing. Just do some fun stuff like that. I don't know, we'll look into that. It'd be kind of cool to have an antenna up there. That'd be our radar communications station kind of thing. Let's see. Again, I would like to hear your guys' input on this. You know, think about survival. You know, it's like if you landed on a planet, where would you want to start? We got the basics in place where we don't have to be outside in the elements anymore. We move to a barracks. We have a hangar to keep our ships safe. I'm going to move that word to craft. Hopefully I can remember it, because we're going to have ground and ships as well. So we'll keep our craft safe. We keep us safe by having plenty of turrets on hand now. We have communications array so we can reach as far as we can. So, alright, so let me guys know in the comments below. So you got 2 things to comment on. I hope to hear from as many as you can. Favorite sci-fi moment? Mine was the Galactica breaking atmosphere in a very epic fashion. And then also, what do you think is next in the realm of survival? What structure do you think would be next? So we're gonna wrap up the episode here. This is Havoc. Have fun and keep gaming.